in the nuts. I'ma stomp him 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 in the nuts.
Yo, what's good? This is a list of fighters that I will always be biased towards. A list that for one reason or another, I will always have a spot in my heart for. So these may be fighters that are great and accomplished, and it may be fighters that aren't as great, that aren't as accomplished, but that I will not necessarily be quick to criticize. Doesn't mean that I won't criticize them at all, or that I don't understand the criticism for these fighters, but maybe fighters that I won't look too objectively towards. So the first fighter is, of course, maybe a lot of you know that I would choose him, Roberto Duran, Manos de Piedra, my all-time favorite fighter. Just a fighter that he went through everything in his career and in his life. And I hate that for a lot of people, his whole damn career is defined in one fight. The second Sugar Ray Leonard fight, which I have yet to watch and I will never watch because Duran is my favorite fighter. And if we were to talk about that fight, I would not put the sole blame on Duran for that loss. Of course it is, but I won't put it. Leonard did his shady business in that No Mas fight. But if you want to know more about that, read Sugar Ray Leonard's book. He admits to doing some shady business. It's not like he cheated or nothing, but he knew Duran wouldn't be ready. He knew Duran wouldn't be ready for fight night. But Duran's my favorite fighter. I made a Roberto Duran week last year, and I made a bunch of videos of Roberto Duran. If you don't know he's my favorite fighter yet, you really haven't been paying attention to my channel. Next fighter, El Matador, Ricardo Mayorga, man. Another man's man from Central America. God, I wasn't scared to talk shit. Wasn't scared of being politically incorrect. He'd call people faggots. He'd say he'd fuck people's wives. And we're talking about, he used to say this to legends face like Tito Trinidad, Miguel Cotto, and Oscar De La Hoya. Of course these guys beat him, but he would always come for a fight. And he made a name for himself. And there's a recent rumor of him that they found him in a gas station drunk. And I really hope that rumor is just that. It's just a rumor. I really hope that's not true. I wouldn't wish that for my least favorite fighter. Or anyone. I wouldn't wish that of anyone. Because addictions are hard to break for a lot of people. For most people that get trapped in alcoholism. I really hope Mayorga gets better and kicks that addiction really soon. But the thing that's killing him now made him look so cool back in the day. Him smoking spliffs, him drinking. Man, he was one of the coolest fighters, in my opinion, ever because he did that. Okay, the always controversial, the Tijuana Tornado, Antonio Margarito, man. I know how you could hate him, but this guy is entertaining as hell, throwing 1,000 punches per round, beating undefeated Miguel Cotto. That was awesome in a great fight. One of the fights of the decade in the last decade. And one reason I really like Margarito, and I will always be biased towards him, is because all the hate he gets. I will admit that. And I refuse to say, like a lot of people, that he used illegal hand wraps in the Miguel Cotto fight. Because no one could ever prove that he actually did. No one could ever prove that he actually did. I don't know if ever, but if Miguel Cotto were to take him to court, and he hasn't yet, because he knows that he does not have substantial evidence to convict him. He does not. But if he were to plead guilty, I'll take him off the list. I'll say, yes, okay, legally, it's proven that he used illegal hand wraps in the Miguel Cotto fight. even if that were true, we could not say, well, you can't say, but they're just allegations. It's just slandering or trying to slander Margarito, which you cannot slander Margarito because he doesn't give a fuck. Because he's Margarito. He is the villain. He is the Notorious. Conor McGregor thinks he's notorious? No, he's no Margarito in the notorious category. That's one of the reasons. Probably the main reason I will always be biased towards the Tijuana Tornado. Orlando Salido, a fighter I really don't think I have to explain why I like him so much, why he has a spot in my heart, right? He has provided so many great fights. His last 4 or 5 fights have been fights of the year candidates, and he better damn win fight of the year this year when he fought Francisco Vargas, because that fight was awesome. And if Francisco Vargas keeps it up, I think he will end up on this list as well. An all-time great, of course, the greatest, Muhammad Ali. Someone that meant so much for this sport, that meant everything, that gave up everything. In that same light, Jack Johnson, another man that was historically significant, the first black heavyweight champion. And I freaking love Jack Johnson because of what he did outside of the ring, with just prancing around with this white woman, showing them off to everybody, speeding in his car, paying the double tickets for running red lights and then running the other red light. Such a pioneer. A pioneer for America. When a black man could get lynched for whistling at a white woman, he would prance around in public with them. Juan Manuel Marquez. Man, when he knocked out Manny Pacquiao. We're talking about someone representing Mexico. That was Marquez that night. Wow, that night cemented him in boxing history. And no matter what else happened in boxing in his career or in Pacquiao's career, their careers were defined by each other's fight, by each other's 4 fights. And Marquez ended up, after all that strife, all that struggle in the first 3 fights, in which he didn't win any of them, but he ended up winning the rivalry with that one punch. And what a moment that was. And that's enough, I think, for any Mexican fighter, that they could look at Marquez and they could say, damn, I cannot look at this guy and be unbiased towards him. Completely unbiased. No way I will ever be completely unbiased towards Juan Manuel Marquez. Naseem Hamed, someone that came up before Juan Manuel Marquez, and someone that was entertaining as hell, someone that we had never seen before or since. I remember, I don't know how old I was, but I would see him fight. I was like, Dad, Naseem Hamed's not, he has his guard down. Why doesn't he put his guard up? Why does he put his hands up? But that was his style. And if there was anybody even with the balls of Naseem Hamed to fight like that, there really isn't. And people want to say he had no chin, but when you fight with your guard down, you're gonna get caught. Especially when you're fighting world championship fighters, when you get caught with your hands down and you don't even lift them up when you're hurt, that takes a lot of balls. And I say Naseem Hamed had a hell of a chin not to have been knocked out because of the way he fought. Johnny Tapia, Mi Vida Loca. Another guy with a great story. And another guy with the passion, man. You could see the passion and the entertainment he provided in the ring when he would talk to the camera. Grandma, I love you. Or Albuquerque. Definitely a guy that had his demons. We're talking about a guy that was pronounced legally dead about 3 or 4 times, counting the last time that he actually was dead for good. But you want to read about his story, I suggest taking a look at his book, Mi Vida Loca. It's not that long. It's about 250 pages. It's not that long. If you want a great read his autobiography. He has an incredible story. Or watch his fights too. That tells his story as much as anything. His fights with Paulie Ayala, his fights with Danny Romero, with Barrera, all of it. Amazing career, great career. This is another controversial one. Edwin Valero, a guy that ended up killing his wife and then himself. But man, a guy on all victories, all knockouts. This is a bias I will have because, as I said in one of my videos, he's the ultimate what if, man. Was it 27 or 28-0 and all knockouts? That is incredible. And the sky was completely the limit with him, but something was always a little off. Something was off. And plus, when you mix that with drugs, that's a no-no. Always a no-no. Antonio DeMarco, I have a more personal reason for this. He grew up homeless in Tijuana. He was homeless, and just saying a little bit of a story. He has a great story. But that night he won the world title from Jorge Linares at the Staples Center. I was there. That was the first ever fight I went to. It was the Hopkins. Chad Dawson won that undercard, and I was there, and it was such a great moment that I feel that I shared with him. The last fighter is James Toney, the defensive wizard, the master. Yes, Floyd, the master of the shoulder roll. This is a man to me that if we were living 2,000 years ago, James Toney would become a Greek god because of just his natural abilities. Think about it. James Toney was so great that it didn't matter if he trained or not. He could go 12 rounds with a Sam Peter and take his damn punches. A man that as he got bigger and bigger, he got even better. Debuted at 160, ended up like being 240, 230. Gained about 60 to 70 pounds in his career and was still great. Entertaining as hell, and pretty much fought everybody that he could have. Definitely for me, at least, definitely Greek god material. Thanks for watching. And what are some fighters that you really like, that you really enjoyed watching, that you will always be biased towards? Peace.